I'm so stoked for today. We're going to some of the best burger joints in LA. The cheeseburgers specifically in this city, forgive me if I come off a bit hyperbolic, are the best in the world ever.
Okay, that's high praise. Because I feel like London and New York have both brought the heat in food tours so far.
Okay.
I know
Yes.
you're an honorary Angelino.
Yeah, we're gonna be going to some old school places that have been here for a long time, and you'll see why when you taste the great food. We're going to a couple of upstarts that are literally killing the game right now. And we're going to maybe a fancy pants place or two to see how the other half live. Regardless, every burger you're gonna have today is a little bit different, but no doubt absolutely delicious. I've been looking forward to this all month.
Yeah, I really appreciate like the history side of food, and I know this is kind of where some people say the modern cheeseburger was invented.
I would say that, yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited to taste it from the source, the original cheeseburger.
We started it here, we perfected it here, and today we're going to some dynamite places.
Let's go, I'm excited.
So this first place I've taken you today, Pie and Burger.
What do they sell?
Personally, I think it should be burger and pie, but this is old school, classic diner vibes. The current owner started coming here when he was 9 years old, eventually started working here, worked his way all the way up, and now it is his restaurant. Everything you see here, preserved, authentic, has been here since whenever it was put in here.
Amazing, wow. I thought for a second you said he started working here when he was 9.
No.
That's like American labor laws are all over the place. But if he started coming here when he was 9, that makes way more sense. And yeah, wow. Like
Yeah.
I'm loving the wood paneling,
Yeah.
old school,
Yeah.
one of the grills,
Yeah.
like looks like it's been here for ages.
Well, I am ready to get some cheeseburgers. You want to order?
Absolutely, yeah. What are we getting?
We're getting 2 of the classic cheeseburgers they got here. By the way, they're going to have the lettuce, tomato, onion, and Thousand Island dressing.
Okay.
It's so good. I can't believe it. Got some fries in the mix, and I'm going to get a slice of pie.
We're at Pie and Burger. We got to try the pie. We got to try the burgers. Let's go order. I'm excited.
And I'm saying this now. Please pace yourself.
Okay.
Okay? Pace yourself.
I'm slowly learning my lesson on that front.
Fantastic.
I'm getting there.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Okay, man. Look at these.
I made a judgment call. I went with the raw onion over grilled. Mm-hmm. And normally I don't like a big stack burger, but I make an exception for this one because everything on this is so delicious. You got obviously lettuce, tomato, onion, raw. You can see the Thousand Island dressing that's dripping, pickles, and the fantastically prepared burger.
I think like because we just went for the single burger, right? Not the
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
So there's like actually like not too much meat in this in the kind of like ratio perspective. But I do think that with all of this stuff, I like the wrapping.
Yeah.
Because then you bite into it, and instead of all the stuff just flying out the bottom,
Very smart.
it's contained.
Burger ingenuity right here, the paper.
You look really excited to bite this, so I
Yeah.
think we should just give it a
go
try.
for it.
Cheers,
Yeah.
man.
It's got that great crunch thanks to the lettuce and
Uh-huh.
the tomato and the onion.
Yeah, I think one thing that stands out to me is the texture.
Mm-hmm.
You don't often get that much crunch from a burger, but with the onion in there, the pickles in there, the lettuce in there,
Yeah.
it's a crunchy burger. I had some reservations about how this has been assembled, but
No.
now that I taste it, now that I feel the textures,
Yeah.
it all kind of makes sense.
Fantastic, right? And it's a big burger too, right? They're feeding you here. This burger has probably not evolved, but at least withstood the test of time since the 50s or 60s, however long the restaurant has been here. Seeing they're doing something right.
Yeah, it feels very traditional. It feels very classic.
Yeah.
It matches the vibe in here of like slightly old school.
Yeah.
They've taken something, and you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Why bother?
And not only that it's not broke, they have perfected it here, I think. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't let you escape without having a slice of pie. You got room for pie?
Of course I do. Always got room for pie.
Yo!
They've not skimped on the ice cream.
Oh my god. They put a little ice cream on it, a la mode as they call it.
Did you just say a little ice cream on
Yes.
this?
This specifically is boysenberry, not to be confused with poisonberry,
Sure.
which we will not be eating today, hopefully. Boysenberry dropped in the 20s by my boy Rudolph Boysen. Combination, European raspberry, European blackberry, a loganberry from here, I think, a dewberry, a drewberry more, put them all together and invented a new berry.
In the UK, we might not have a ton of fruit pies. Like apple pie is fairly common in the UK.
Yeah.
Or like apple crumble is probably more popular.
Sure.
But I do love the hot and cold contrast that you get when you put ice cream on like a pie or a crumble.
Look at this.
So did you say this is what, so a la mode, when you see a la mode on a menu, is that just with ice cream?
Yeah,
All right, we gotta try this.
I'm in pie mode, sorry.
We gotta try a delicious boysen.
Come on. USA, baby. We got berries locked down. You wish this was over on your side. These berries are getting flagged at Heathrow as contraband. They're never letting this into your country. Too dangerous.
It would blow British people's minds.
This hits the
too
streets. That's it.
Man.
That's it.
That's delicious. I want to get a bit more of the pastry because most of that was just the filling there.
How do you invent a berry?
I guess just like cross-pollinations and things like that.
What?
But, you know, you like cross-pollinate.
So you
take
need
like
bees.
Yeah, or you can do it artificially.
So you
I'm
got
assuming.
all of those berries by each other, and then you're hoping like a bee goes near all of them, and then does what?
It's how pollination works, right? The bee goes in for the nectar. While it's in there, all the pollen gets caught on it.
Yeah.
And then it flies to another flower, collects more nectar.
How's he doing 4? Does a bee got to hit all 4?
Maybe, yeah.
Did he train bees? You're acting like this is a normal thing. This doesn't make any sense.
Rudolph, his name's Rudolph Boysen. He can do whatever he wants. I love it here. I am a sucker for like a slightly old school historical place.
Yep.
Does feel like you stepped slightly back in time. Yeah. The food, while it might be traditional, is very, very tasty.
Fantastic.
Can't fault the food at all. Burger, it's just about as classic as a hamburger gets, you know, but done well. I hear that we have more spots to hit.
We do.
Yeah.
So let's hit it.
Let's go. Why did we just park next to a freeway? Where are we going?
The thing about LA, for whatever reason, we like putting really important things right on the sidewalk, and I got something burger related to show you. Check this out. Behold, a plaque commemorating the exact spot where the cheeseburger was invented. I have some notes.
Sure, go on.
Okay, as you've noticed, we're kind of by the expressway.
Yep.
Now whoever this Lionel Sternberger is, and his name's Sternberger, first dude to put cheese on a hamburger, 1924, exactly 100 years.
I think it's great that we have the invention of the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
We have just highways with the biggest cars you've ever seen, and we have a credit union. I think this is like America, just in one tiny condensed location.
What's going on? With the burger right in the middle of the paragraph? Like, who laid this out like this? Not one graphic designer was just like, you know, we just move it. What happened here?
Graphic design is their passion, clearly. I really like it. I love that the guy who invented the cheeseburger had burger in his name.
Yeah.
It's a piece of history. We're at the source. Do you feel closer to the hamburger and the cheeseburger than ever?
I kind of do.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would have liked something a little bit like a burger, like fountain.
Yeah?
Think about how famous a cheeseburger is.
One of the most iconic dishes in the world.
Right.
And it gets a tiny plaque next to a highway. Yeah, I mean, they could maybe have gone a little bit more all out for it. Yeah. But I still appreciate it. If I worked here, I'd be touching this every morning like the "This is Anfield" sign.
It should be shaped like a... let's go. Let's get out of here. All right, this is Goldburger. We're located in Highland Park. They also have a location in Los Feliz. Been here several years. This place, fantastic. I could gush all day about how much I love the food here. One thing that I think we should note for this place, the burgers, 100% grass-fed beef.
Okay, nice. I will say that's a weird thing to brag about because in the UK, that's like standard. I'm pretty sure all of our beef is grass-fed. But in the US, you know, I know your standards are a little bit lower, so I'm glad they're at least matching the UK beef.
So our beef is what, mostly grain and corn fed?
I guess like food pellets, random other stuff. But yeah, if I have the option to do grass-fed, then I'm glad they're doing it.
Okay, well they're doing grass-fed here.
Great stuff.
So here they do LA-style smash burgers. Those are thin patties, man. The guy like really gets in there. He has like this stamp thing to like really make them thin. That makes the edges nice and crispy. This might be my favorite smash burger in all of LA. Possibly the entire world. That's right, I said it.
We haven't even finished the video yet, Joe. You've got to keep an open mind. Is LA like becoming the spiritual home of the smash burger? I feel like that's much more the style over here.
They really are popping off here. I can't speak for the rest of the country, but smash burgers in LA, very popular.
I feel like the ones that we had in New York tended to be a bit thicker, like diner style. But on average, if you order a burger out here, is it going to be smashed?
And I don't say on average, but the smash burgers here, they're so thick, paper. You could write a note on these smash burgers. Back in 2018, when Alan was just doing this as a pop-up, this won Best Burger in LA by LA Food and Wine.
Okay, so it's got some pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great word. British buddy over here, got pedigree. I mean, I could talk about how great the burger is here all day, but why don't you taste it and find out? I'm gonna get us 2 of the burgers, the double patty version, a thing of curly fries, and some drinks.
Sounds great.
Sound good?
Absolutely.
All right, stay right here.
Hey,
all right.
Let's go.
Thank you so very much. That's fantastic.
These are beautiful.
Wait till that paper. Look at that. Look at that.
Paper thin.
You know, they could like a folded up in this. throw it like an airplane.
Looks like a cheesesteak.
Also, they have a house aioli and mustard mixed together to make their own kind of like Dijonnaise, I guess.
I like that. Mustard on a burger. Underrated, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
Great condiment.
I mean, I'm ready to go. Do you want to take a bite and then talk?
I think we should get it while it's hot, man.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Just by the virtue of smashing it, it has such a profound effect on the flavor. I think it's because it's like crispier edges, and with the cheese and the sauce and the onions, it's just a different combination of elements.
When you smash it that thin, these crispy bits around the side are almost like caramelized.
Yeah.
There's like a sort of almost sweetness to them, which is incredible. It's a simple burger.
Yeah, you see in there, contrast to the other one we went to, it's just the meat, cheese, onions, and obviously some pickles kind of stuck in there. Like, it really is just your mainlining meat and cheese.
Mom.
This sauce, this aioli mustard they're making here, I mean, that's a secret weapon. I don't know if they sell that. Actually, don't sell it.
No.
No. Keep that under lock and key.
Yeah. So juicy. I think it's so juicy.
Uh-huh.
I thought to get it that juicy, you'd have to kind of like keep the patty kind of thicker.
No.
But the amount of juice that's coming off these thin smash patties is incredible.
And the bun is holding it all down, right? Not falling apart, still pillowy, still fluffy. It's a fantastic burger.
Yeah, you can tell they've really thought about every component of this burger and like how it's going to work together. Well assembled and really delicious.
Awesome, right?
Man.
Also, the price is nice out here at all these places. This burger, they have a combo here. One of these burgers, fries, and a drink for $16, I think?
Yeah.
For a full meal.
Yeah, that's honestly really good value. That's like a big portion, filling food, really, really tasty. I know New York's expensive. Everyone says New York's expensive. In my mind, I thought LA would kind of be the same, but so far I've been pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it depends slightly on like where in LA you are.
Yeah, I think Rodeo Drive, this would be $70. But you'd get it when you buy like a Prada jacket or something.
Yeah, stop off at Erewhon for your groceries and then grab a burger on the way home.
Yeah, this at Erewhon would be like $115. Yeah. It'd be impossible for every place we go to have like specifically the same type of burger. Already you can see how this differs from the last place we were at. For me, today is all about just showcasing some of the best. And although it isn't direct comparisons, you're getting kind of a feel of all the different types of burgers you can get out here in LA.
Yeah, I think even like toppings aside, like lettuce, tomato, onion, whatever, even just the way that people are cooking the meat and the cheese and the bread is wildly different.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do like a direct comparison, like you say, but so far I've been impressed by what we've had, and I'm intrigued to see where else they can take the humble cheeseburger.
How is this compared to our London burger exploits?
This is really good. I think in terms of smash burgers, that's much more of a recent addition to London. They've only made their way over to us in the last couple of years, I think, and are really catching on, but we're still getting there. This, I would say, one of the best smash burgers, if not the best smash burger I've ever had.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, suffice to say, we would have no problem finishing this meal.
No, I really want to, but
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
having to physically restrain myself.
But we have more burgers to eat, and you need room.
I know, I'm trying to learn my lessons from the past.
All right, come on, let's go.
So I feel like so far most of my time in LA has been spent in cars. Is that representative of the experience?
I think so. Now, the city does get a bit of a bad rap about being car-centric. It is more car-centric than not. There's a train here, there's plenty of buses. I find that the city has so many great neighborhoods, but getting from one neighborhood to the other is hard. But once you get into a good neighborhood, you're doing lots of walking.
Sure. To be fair, like London's got great public transport, but even there, like getting from one part of town to another can be really annoying.
I mean, there's way worse American cities like Houston, where it's like you got to drive to go everywhere. There's traffic pockets that are tough closer to the western part of the city, like in Hollywood and those areas. If you look at like how the city's laid out, it's like there's these huge mountains you got to go over to go to like Burbank, where you guys are.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, there's like one or two expressways, so yeah, of course those are going to be jammed, but I don't know, it's not so bad. Okay, dude, Oinkster, right? Good enough for Guy Fieri. See the thing over there?
I did. Yeah, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
I was about to say. All right, this place, the reason why I take it here is all the awesome burgers they have. They have a burger here that has pastrami on it. Remember the pastrami episode we did for New York?
How could I forget the pastrami from New York?
This place flies through pastrami, all right? They sell, from what I read online, 1,500 pounds of pastrami a week. Also, they get this, I'm going to pronounce it, ube shake. Ube, yeah, they have it's one of the specialties here. Fantastic. Some of the menu items, like the ube shake, is kind of a nod to the owner's Filipino heritage.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I like the name.
Yeah.
With a name like the Oinkster, you know they're going to be pretty serious about their meat.
Absolutely, absolutely.
hope so.
So definitely want to do the pastrami burger. Gonna get another just regular cheeseburger, get like a baseline. And they do have a vegetarian burger that is sourced from Burger Lords down the street. So I thought, try one of those, see what you think.
Cool, sounds great.
All right, you hungry?
Still got some room in the tank, yeah. The
Me
pacing
too.
myself plan,
We're figuring this
kind of
out.
working, yeah. It's only
Yeah.
taken us like 4 seasons.
Yeah, no. We're figuring it out.
I can see a soda machine over there. A
Yeah.
free refill is still a thing in America, because that's like not a thing we do in the UK.
Yeah, it's always been a thing. I didn't know it wasn't a thing until I left this country.
That's quite nice.
So you guys don't have that?
No, we do not. If you get another cup of soda, you're paying for it.
Do you ever find yourself getting to the end and be like, I should have gotten the large?
I usually just play it safe and order the large.
Gotcha.
There's a couple of exceptions. Nando's lets you refill your own drink.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's why Nando's is doing so well.
Hey,
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So this is a Grimace shake.
Is that a grimace? Did you have the grimace shake?
I did, yeah.
I never had it, so why don't you taste it and tell me how close it is?
Okay. Oh, well.
It's so good. No way grimace shake tasted this good.
No, yeah, this is way better. The Grimace shake was like the most artificial berry flavor you've ever tasted in your life. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a crazy looking burger.
Yeah. All right, so we got the Royale. This is the one I was talking about pastrami. And also got us a regular, a cheeseburger. Well, I mean, look at the size of it, right? Forgot to mention this burger also has chili on it.
Yep.
But,
Conveniently withheld that information.
oops, and bacon.
I have what I will say is an above average size mouth. And I don't think I can get nearly
Come
all
on,
of
I think you
this
can do it. Come on.
in one bite. I'm
All
going
right,
to try.
I'm gonna try it.
Oh my God.
This is like, how ridiculous is this? This is so good. The pastrami is incredible here, but with the bacon and the chili, this is so incredible. Well,
Ridiculous is the word that comes to mind. This is absurd. They've been like generous with, oh my God, look at the juice just pouring off that.
yeah, you better believe it.
Jeez. Meat waterfall. They've been like generous with all of the toppings. So not only is there like a bunch of stuff in here, but all of it is in quite a healthy dose. Like look at the pastrami, there's like a solid like inch of pastrami in there. I do think that while I've enjoyed the individual components of this burger, I think this is slightly too much for me. And there's just like, there's a lot going on
Okay.
with all the different flavors. Some of them are working together. I think the pastrami in the burger is good. I think the addition of the chili has maybe taken that slightly over the edge for me.
Okay, I can see that.
Would you agree?
No, but I can see why you would think that.
That's fair. I also just think like, particularly with the chili, when it's an ingredient that's that like wet and sloppy, quite difficult to eat
Yeah.
without it just completely falling apart.
And also the pastrami is pretty juicy.
It is, yeah.
It's a
Very
juicy
tasty.
burger.
Again, everything's in there is tasty, just maybe scale it back slightly. I think we should try the regular cheeseburger.
Yeah.
It's slightly more approachable. I can
Yeah.
actually probably fit all of this in my mouth. So
I take the pickles out.
you gotta
Oh,
get
yeah.
you gotta get with the pickles at some point, man. This actually
This is so big.
I'd say in terms of like the structure and assembly and ingredients, this pretty closely represents the pie and burger one.
Yeah, pretty close, yeah.
Basically their version of that with the Thousand Island, the onions, lettuce, tomato.
Right?
It's fine to do a burger that's like a little bit out there,
Yeah.
a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
But I think to earn the right to do that, you have to be able to do the basics well.
Fantastic whip, but fantastic whip, yeah.
They definitely are doing the basics well.
Yeah.
That's really, really
Isn't that
tasty.
really good? Yeah.
Man.
Oh man, time to wash that down with one of these bad boys.
Happy birthday, Grimace.
Stop it. I'm going to town in this shake. This is so good, right?
It is really good. I'm trying to like think of things to compare the flavor of ube to, but it's really tough. I think there's obviously some other stuff, like there's like vanilla in here, but the ube itself is given quite like an earthy, rich flavor.
Okay. The day's starting to hit me.
That was really sudden. I feel like you just
Yeah, I suddenly hit a wall, but I'll
Pivoted.
power through it. So, Burger Lords, as you can see right here, has a really great plant-based burger that I love. And since they sell it here, I thought we're not visiting Burger Lords, but we can try this patty here, just to see what you think. I think it's really great. I really love Burger Lords. I go there a lot, even though I am not clearly a plant-based eater. But I like it a lot, and it's here, so thought you would try it and see what you think.
Absolutely, man. I'm open-minded. I like the collaboration between the burger chains as well. I'm seeing a lot of like pulses in there.
A lot of what?
Like pulses.
Pulses.
Yeah, you know how that like beans and pulses, grains and pulses, like lentils and stuff.
Oh. How good is that? I love it. It's so good, so flavorful, right?
That's really good. They haven't like gone full kind of fake meat.
Right, correct.
It's more like they've just taken a bunch of other delicious things and kind of crammed them all together. It's a really, really tasty mix. I'm getting like quite a lot of mushroom from that, some lentils, some onions, some peppers.
I love how you can get both of these under the same roof.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's like good that it's a space that, like you say, can cater to people who, love meat and people who might not love meat or just want to reduce the amount of meat they want to eat, but
There you go. Good
don't want
point.
to compromise on flavor.
Yeah, still want something that tastes good. Yeah. You can come to the Oinkster. Well, good news. We've got one more place to go. And we're going to head there right now.
Yep.
After that, we are done. All right, one more. Let's rally and let's go.
Okay, we can do one more.
All right, let's go.
So whereabouts are we now, Joe?
Okay, this is Father's office in the downtown Los Angeles area of Los Angeles, California. Now the distinction is there's three. There's another one in Culver City and I believe another one in Santa Monica. They have a fantastic burger I want you to try. That's why we're here. And also, they got a beer selection.
I knew you had an ulterior motive for bringing us here, man. We've eaten lots of burgers. I think we've earned a beer.
I think we've earned a beer.
That's fine.
And it's late enough to where my drinking isn't uncomfortable for my coworkers.
Yes.
I mean, I could have started at 11. I could have cracked one open at Pine Burger, but society is all like, you got to wait till you're not working anymore.
I speak on behalf of the rest of the crew when I say we appreciate your restraint.
Yeah, where's my plaque?
You're all good.
On this spot, Joe Avella, restrained from getting drunk in the middle of the day.
We'll get you a plaque next
It's a plaque
to,
of me going like this from a beer, like, no. And and it's right in the middle of the type.
We'll get you a plaque like on a freeway next to a Wells Fargo or something. I like the vibe around downtown. It feels
nice.
much more like a city. I feel like the other ones we've been more in the sort of like neighborhood, I guess, areas of LA. Whereas this one, we're kind of in the midst of things here.
Actually, Father's office is one of the first drinking establishments to completely ban smoking. They did it way before the ordinance, like in 1991. And shout out to them.
Yeah, I'm not a smoker, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Were you able to go to pubs, as you call them, when you could still smoke inside of them?
When I was little, I wasn't of drinking age, but I used to like occasionally go into a pub with my parents.
It was the absolute. I smoked it even. I was like, we have to stop this. This is a nightmare. Yeah. So we're getting the burger here. The Office Burger is one of the signature menu items. This thing is supposed to be incredible. I personally have not had it yet, but I've heard nothing but great things. It was named the best burger in America by both the Today Show and Esquire magazine.
In America, not just in LA.
Right.
Damn.
And Esquire
high
magazine.
praise.
Remember magazines?
I do, yeah. Those physical newspaper
Yeah,
things.
we used to print out the internet and you had to carry it with you? Yeah.
What a dumb idea.
According to Yelp, it's the best burger in LA.
Okay. So it's got the voice of the people backing this one,
Yeah.
as well as Esquire magazine.
That's right.
I mean,
Esquire print publication.
of course. We're covering all the bases here. That's a lot of praise. High expectations.
Yeah. Dry aged beef, caramelized onions. I know you're a big onion head.
I am.
Gruyere cheese, applewood, smoked bacon. And arugula. This was on a soft roll.
Okay, interesting.
Sound good?
So like a slightly fancier burger maybe than we've had so far
Get a
today.
load of your surroundings, my guy.
Yeah.
Fancier. But you know what? The price isn't so bad.
$21.
So, not cheap,
No.
but upscale place.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to wait and see, obviously, make my
Yeah.
own call, but
Yeah.
$21 for a burger of that pedigree.
Yeah.
Using the word pedigree again. I'm excited. And I don't think it's too bad. I think we should order.
Okay.
I also think we should take advantage of their very wide beer selection.
Yeah, what do you want to get?
Some kind of lager, I think.
I
would
got
do
two
well.
lagers and I got two
beers.
burgers. All right.
Sounds great.
BRB.
Ooh,
Yes,
thank
please.
you very much.
Thank you. Extra napkins. Enjoy.
Fantastic.
much.
Thank you so
Cheers.
very much.
A few notes here. Not your standard burger.
Yeah, I guess not.
Not your everyday burger. It's
nice.
more almost like a sort of hero roll,
Yeah, shaped like a sandwich.
like long sandwich bun. Toppings, different to some of the other ones we've had today.
Definitely.
They've not skimped on the arugula, or rocket as we call it.
You guys call it rocket.
We do call it rocket.
And I've been told by another British person it's because it's kind of spicy.
I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, arugula is spicy to you guys, isn't it?
Our poor British palates can't handle a leaf.
Yeah.
I love the look of the beef. They asked us how we wanted it cooked.
Yeah.
First time today.
First and only, yeah.
Which is much more of like a steakhousey thing. And I don't know, for me that just signifies like attention to detail.
I was going to say the same thing. Attention to quality.
They're paying attention.
Yeah. Dude, this is so good. Oh, wow. Oh my God, I've been eating burgers all day. I think I'm going to finish this. Maytag, which is a type of blue cheese, right? Mm-hmm. Also with the Gruyere. The cheese blend is incredible. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know you did point out there's a lot of arugula, but I would argue to say, I don't think there's enough. The arugula paired with this, fantastic, dude. This burger is incredible. Are you kidding me?
This beef is sensational.
Now I want to point out, this burger was the only one we had today that was cooked over an open flame. And I am noticing that difference. I do like a flat top, obviously. You know, I'm all about that, but it really brings out the flavor, the fact that this was cooked on a grill.
You can see the like grill marks on it. I do love the sort of like textural contrast and flavor contrast you get from the grill marks, the like slightly charred bits.
But they also, we said medium rare, right? That is perfectly medium rare.
That's a perfect medium rare.
If it wasn't for the show, I would have gone rare. Just because like I like living dangerously.
I'd say this has by far the most complicated flavors of any burger that we've had today.
This thing's on another level.
Yeah, they've taken the concept of a hamburger or a cheeseburger, and they really have, like, I think, elevated each element. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to change the formula.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned that you're not allowed to. Another thing that this place is famous for is no substitution. So you can't change it. You can't put anything else in there. You can't add a little this and that. No ranch. Right? Not doing it. And then they get a little spicy with you too if you ask. Like if you look at the bad reviews this place has gotten, it's everyone being like, I wanted them to put this on instead of that, and they got yelled at me. Like, good, you should get yelled at. Right? Eat the thing the experts made. Just knock it off.
Right? They're the experts. Let them handle it.
Thank you.
I put my trust in them, and they've delivered in this case.
Yes, they have delivered, absolutely. And I think it's interesting because the other burger places we've gone to today, they're definitely have an emphasis on the efficiency of like get your food and go. You know, not anything wrong with that, but definitely places that kind of have this like you got it, enjoy your meal and go. This feels more of a considered burger, and also this environment of they got a full bar over there, so hang out, have a drink, have a burger, have a couple more drinks, a couple more burgers.
Spend your whole evening here.
You gotta spend the whole evening here. So what's the rush?
I think this kind of like almost pushes the boundaries of what a burger can be. Because obviously, I think at its core, a burger is a bun on either side, meat in the middle, and then you can kind of build from there. But even like the bun, they've kind of slightly changed. The meat almost tastes and feels more like a steak in the way it's kind of like cooked to order. The quality is really great. The rocket on there is like very unusual. I'm not sure I've had rocket on a burger before. Arugula. Caramelized onions I've definitely had and I love, but like the cheese blend as well. I do just love American cheese. I still think that's kind of like the benchmark cheese for a burger. There are times when I've had burgers with other cheeses on them before, and I think it hasn't worked. I think with this one, it definitely works. It's like clearly thought has gone into balancing the flavors.
Yeah. Well, we've had 4 fantastic cheeseburgers today, but we have to decide on our favorite. I'll just run it through real quick. We start with Pie and Burger, classic institution, been there for a long time. That burger has been how it's been for decades. They perfected the formula. It's big, juicy, fantastic meat. We love the sauce, the veggies on the burger, so good. After that, made a stop over at Goldburger. They're doing smash burgers, maybe the best smash burger in the city. I would say it is, if not, definitely top 3, but almost like a 180, just the meat, the cheese, some onions, nice and slim. We went to town on that burger. Remember how good that was? After that, Oinkster, pastrami and meat and cheese and chili and bacon. Come on. And also their standard cheeseburger, incredible. A little bit closer to like the Pie and Burger type burger where it just was a lot of veggies and real thick one, but so good, right? And of course, Father's Office, we just gushed about it for 10 minutes, don't get a recap. But if you had to pick only one as your favorite, Harold, which would be your favorite burger in Los Angeles?
Well, Joseph, coming into this, before we got here, Goldburger for me was clear.
Wow,
I think that was probably the best smash burger I've ever had. And I think if anyone was coming to LA and wanted a good old-fashioned LA smash burger, I think that is where I would send them.
Goldburger's the spot, I agree.
However, I think Father's Office might have swooped in
at
the last second and taken the #1 spot, just because I don't think I've had anything like this before. It's so tasty. Every element is so finely crafted, finely balanced. It all works together so well. And yeah, I think it might not be a traditional cheeseburger, but damn, is it a tasty cheeseburger.
It's a fantastic burger, and I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. This is the best burger we've had today. It's fantastic. Goldburger was winning for me, but this thing's incredible. So, and it just barely beat it out. But just a little bit more of an attention to the cook of the meat, the cheese and onion toppings, just so good. Yeah, I know it's a higher price point, but I definitely think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think the value of all of these has actually impressed me quite a lot. Like I thought LA would be way more expensive.
Yeah.
Actually, these have all been, I think, pretty reasonable for the quality and the flavor that you're getting. Yeah, would happily recommend all of them to anyone, but this is probably the number one for me.
Fantastic. All right, well,
Cheers, man.
Cheers, man. Till the next episode.